Here, a Sikh man wins the right to be cremated on a traditional outdoor funeral pyre.
Open-air funeral pyres. A Hindu man wins his appeal to be cremated here according to his traditional beliefs. A Hindu man has won the right to be cremated on a traditional funeral pyre. The Court of Appeal ruled that the wishes of Baba Ghai can be carried out within existing legislation. Greg Wood has been following a case which raised controversial questions about the place of cultural traditions in Britain.
A traditional Hindu funeral. The body has to be burnt on a wooden pyre, open to the air and the sunlight, so the spirit can be released into the afterlife. It's this sort of funeral rite which will now be permitted in Britain. Spiritual healer Baba Ghai had his original request for an open-air cremation refused by Newcastle City Council. But the Court of Appeal has now ruled that Mr Ghai's wishes can be accommodated under the law.
I wasn't sure, whether I will have a good send-off. Now I'm happy. Even if I go tomorrow, I know the lads will give me a good send-off.
During his 4-year campaign, Mr Ghai organised this open-air Hindu funeral. It was illegal because it took place outside a crematorium. To comply with the law in future, ceremonies like this will have to be held in a more enclosed space. This appeal court ruling hinges on the legal definition of a building. Essentially, if a structure with no roof or open sides is considered by the law to be a building, then there's nothing to stop Hindus being cremated, as their religion dictates, on open-air wooden pyres within such a structure. The court was shown these images of a building in Spanish Morocco, which is used for open-air Hindu cremations. The plan now is to build structures like this in Britain. They'd need planning permission and they'd have to be licensed. It won't happen overnight, but this ruling opens the way for British people of all religions and none to request open-air cremations. Greg Wood, BBC News, at the Court of Appeal.
Healer has won the right to be cremated on a traditional funeral pyre, according to his beliefs. The Court of Appeal heard that 71-year-old Baba Ghai's last wishes can be carried out within existing legislation.
A Hindu traditionalist has won a legal ruling giving him the right to be cremated in Britain on a funeral pyre. 71-year-old Baba Ghai, who describes himself as a spiritual healer, was appealing against a decision by Newcastle City Council in 2006 refusing permission for such a ritual. In today's ruling, the Court of Appeal held that the pyre would be lawful if it included walls and a roof with an opening. Samira Ahmed reports.
A victory for human rights or for divisive religious fundamentalism? 71-year-old Baba Ghai says he and his family have spent £45,000 trying to win the right to have a traditional Hindu funeral pyre on crematorium land, something Newcastle City Council had ruled illegal. But the Court of Appeal judges said it was compatible with the 1902 Cremation Act, and Mr Ghai was keen to emphasise he's getting what other religions have been getting.
Like Muslims got the land in the crematorium. Jewish people got the land in the crematorium. That's what I was saying, give me a land in the crematorium or part of the building.
Crucially, the judges did not grant Mr Ghai the right to a full open-air Indian-style cremation like this illegal one he organised in Northumberland 4 years ago.
I said, I want 4 pillars, a roof over it, sun to shine on my body, my son to light my fire, not a gas flame, wooden flame, and to collect the ashes, which he agreed and he gave it to me.
In Hinduism, cremation is necessary to release the soul for reincarnation, but many mainstream Hindus worry that Mr Ghai's demand for special facilities is retrograde.
The Hindu religion has never given this kind of absolute power, saying that this is the only way you cremate your body. Idea is this: when a person has died, the body can be disposed of in a hygienic and a quick manner. In India, of course, the only way they can do it is through open-air cremation. In the United Kingdom, because this indoor crematoria, which are far less gruesome and far more convenient. So we should adopt this particular method rather than hark back to the past. So this idea of just being idyllic and focusing on this traditional idea perhaps is outdated.
The Humanist Association, though, regards Mr Ghai's case as a personal victory rather than a religious one, compatible with the consumer right to choose to have your ashes fired into space or a burial at sea. Newcastle City Council says the Ministry of Justice will have to rule on how, in practice, local authorities will accommodate Hindu funeral pyres and all the health and safety requirements that go with them.